What's up, Canes fans? Peter Ariz here, bringing you another edition of the CanesInSight podcast. This episode, I will be joined by recent offensive line commit Deryc Plazz out of the Jacksonville area. Awesome conversation with this guy. Very smart kid, a lot of upside athletically. The Miami staff is very excited about his potential. So great to get to know him a little bit and get into his decision to join this Miami class. But just wanted to remind you guys, as always, like, subscribe. Tomorrow, when this episode comes out, so Thursday night, we'll have my weekly live show. Don't want to say for sure who's going to be joining me, but we will have multiple guests. And expect more to come this week on CanesInsight.com. Expect to have another podcast as well. Don't want to give too much away, but as you know, D-Money always keeping his ear to what's happening in terms of the recruiting world, and just keep your eyes peeled to CanesInsight.com. As always, the forums are on fire. Even though it's a down period right now, there's not much really going on. Whatever info you want is going to be on the CanesInsight.com message board. And then, of course, follow us on all the socials. We're on Threads now, so you can get us on Instagram. You can get us on Twitter. You can obviously go to the website, subscribe to whatever podcast platform you follow us on so that you can get the updates as soon as they come. And as always, we will be bringing you the freshest, newest information as it comes. I hope you guys enjoy this conversation that I had with Deryc Plazz. All right, Canes fans, I'm joined now by recent offensive line commit Deryc Plazz out of the Jacksonville area. What's going on, Deryc? How you feeling, man?
Doing great. Feeling good to be a Cane.
So you're one of the recent commitments to this class.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you were previously committed to Penn State. NC State was in there hard as well, and I know there were a bunch of other offers for you. What separated Miami from the pack?
What separated Miami was the people. NC State, I built a great relationship with some people, but with Miami, I built a great relationship with everyone. Every time I came down, it was just amazing. Everybody treats you like family, and you can tell it's not a recruiting pitch, it's genuine. Because even the time when I was committed to Penn State, everybody's reaching out, hey, man, congratulations, but they was making it clear that they'll still love to have me in Miami. So once I took the time to assess the situation I was in with Penn State, and I ended up deciding that it wasn't going to be the best fit for me. So I committed. And right after that, everyone knows I was at Miami the same night. So it was pretty that made a difference to me because it showed some urgency with landing me. It showed that I meant something to the staff. And then just spending time down there, from the recruits and their families to the coaching staff, it just was amazing. Miami's a beautiful place. I'm from Florida, so it's what I'm used to and it's what I've been thriving in. So it was a no-brainer for me.
I was going to say, the coaching staff, all the relationships are great, but December in Happy Valley, November in Happy Valley, I don't know, man. You're a Jacksonville boy. I don't know how that would have worked out.
Yes, sir.
So on top of just the relationship that you have with the staff, right, the development is a huge part of what happens at the next level, right? So how confident do you feel with the track record that the Miami coaches, especially at your position, have developing players? Because you have the physical tools, right? A lot of it's going to be how you develop in terms of the technique and all that stuff. So how big was that for your decision?
It was huge. It was like one of the deciding factors in my decision, the fact that Coach Cristobal and Mirabal have been playing offensive linemen in the NFL for years, and they worked together really well. They're best friends, knew each other almost their whole lives. So one, I know Mirabal is never going to get fired from Miami. He's going to be there as long as Cristobal is there, and that's something I love because you don't have that same type of security everywhere else. And it's not just because he's a best friend; it's because what he's done has been working, and it's going to work at Miami because the schools he were at were great, but they don't have the same resources as Miami. Everywhere Oregon is in Miami. So I mean, that was a big part of it. And then having Coach Bain and Coach Pata as those like small glue pieces. It was just something that I knew I wanted to be a part of because not many places is there for line coaches.
Coach Bain was a really good offensive lineman back in his collegiate days at FAU, and he blocked for Dalvin Cook back in high school, man. So he has a track record of his own. But like you said, the support staff and everyone in Miami, it's a family atmosphere. So you're definitely in good hands in terms of that. What are they telling you as far as you as a player? What do they feel like your strengths and weaknesses are? And kind of just their overall kind of report on you, if you could kind of share that with us.
One, I know they love my athleticism and my length. And then some of the things I need to work on is just one, getting stronger, than just tuning up little things, because a lot of the things that they're looking for I have, and some it's a couple of things that I don't. But now it's more so getting with Coach Mirabal, Coach Patty, Coach Bain, Coach Cristobal, and just fine tuning the little things to make me the best player I can be for the Miami Hurricanes. Then from there, moving forward into a draft pick, which they made it clear that I could be a first round draft pick if I. That was one of the things they were telling me. If I come to Miami and grind and work and buy into the process, I could easily be a first round draft pick. But it's not something that just comes easy. You have to put the work in. So that was another reason I came here, because obviously I want to go to the NFL. So one, I can get a great degree because one, Miami is a private education, top whatever education in the country, right? So one, everyone knows football come to an end one day. So now I have a great degree, but I'm also at a phenomenal program that breeds legends here in the.
Definitely, man. No, it sounds like. Listen, it sounds like you're trying to recruit me right now. I'm already on board with it, man. No, it's great to hear your excitement for real, because a lot of times it feels like in this recruitment process, and I know you went through it a little bit, right, with the Penn State situation. It's a very difficult process, so it's always great to hear someone like you really feel like you find your home moving forward. How important was your family in that decision as well? Because I'm sure that they had to be on board with it.
My family was extremely important. It's something that I went over with my mom multiple times, because that's who was really helping me with my decision. So she felt comfortable leaving me at Miami to develop for 4 years, even though it would be pretty easy for her to get here. 5 hours isn't that much of a drive or anything. But it's something she felt with the relationships that we've all built with the coaching staff there. She felt very comfortable that those are the right guys to build me into the man that I should be.
So, what was your sports background growing up? I like to ask the offensive lineman this. I had Juan Minaya on the show a couple weeks ago, and he was a basketball guy. For you, were you always football? Were you too big to play when you were younger?
Mm-hmm.
What was your background in sports to this point?
I was about football from like 5 to 12, and I always play unlimited weight because I was a bigger kid, but I always play offensive line and defensive line. So I was playing center in the park. And then from there, in middle school, I didn't play any football. I played soccer, and then I started playing basketball, and I played baseball. So I played every other sport but football. So then in high school, I came in thinking I was just going to play basketball, but the basketball coach we had, he made me play football. He told me one day I'll be able to make a lot of money if I just step out there and play. He was like, in basketball, it's a million of you. In football, it's not that many. So I ended up listening to him, went out, played football, and the rest is history. So I've done a little bit of everything so far.
Definitely the right move. I don't know, man. It sounds like you didn't have much of a jump shot.
Yeah, nah.
And you played some soccer too. That's interesting. I mean, how big were you when you were playing soccer? Because you had to have the good footwork out there.
This was about sixth grade, so I was maybe like 6 foot, maybe like 210, something. Not that big.
Right. I mean, listen, it's impressive either way. That's for sure.
Yes, sir.
Couple more questions here before I let you go. Transferring to Mandarin, talk about that transition for you and what that has done for you, on and off the field, and how you think that's going to help you take the next step.
But Mandarin transferring there on and off the field, it was a phenomenal move. It was something that I took a lot of time to look at. It's not something I just jumped on because they have good players and I think we can win, although that's part of it. But academically, it's a step up in a way. It's a challenge and it's a bigger school, so I'm able to mix in with different cultures similar to what I would be doing at Miami. It was all a preparation move, and I know that their terminology is college light because mostly all of the coaches play college level, as well as the head coach who was an offensive lineman at Marshall. And then when I looked at it, he teaches a lot of the things that Coach Mirabal is teaching. So that was another thing that worked there. Then being an offensive lineman, I don't score the touchdowns. I just block. So although obviously that plays the most important role in the touchdown, but I have to surround myself with great players. So it was a way to increase the competition level as well as increase the guys I'm playing with, because at the school I was at, I was the best player. I was an offensive lineman. In college, even if the offensive lineman is the best player, he's not getting all of that attention. So it was more so like a snapback to reality. And then the strength program, the way we work out, everything is team oriented, the same as Miami. So I know that when I get to school in January, I'll be well acclimated to it.
You mentioned surrounding yourself with great players.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that's definitely going to be happening for you at Miami when you look at some of the guys that not only came in last class, but are coming in this class with you and potentially moving forward as well.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of feedback have you gotten from the guys when you went on your visit to Miami, talking about some of the guys, the incoming freshmen from last year's class, for example, in that same position as you, and
Mm-hmm.
just talking to them and their experience so far?
All those guys love it. From the guys that were there for about 2 weeks, from the guys that was there from January, everybody loves it. They love the way the offensive line group, especially, they do everything together. They do their drills every day. They do everything every day together, and they love the way that Coach Mirabal teaches, and they love the coaching that they're getting. They all speak highly of it. So it's something that guys like.
So I'll let you go with this question here. And I know you've been interacting with the Canes fans online and all that. I'm sure your follower count has gone through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
If you already had a good amount of followers, but anytime you commit to Miami, your social media definitely goes crazy, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've already seen the ugly side of it again with the Penn State situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what's your message to the Canes fans out there who are obviously excited that you committed and excited to see you in the next? Are you an early enrollee?
Yes.
So it's 6 months away, less than 6 months away. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. My message to the Cane fans is, one, I'm blessed to be a part of the family. I know everyone doesn't get this amazing opportunity. And two, day in, day out, whether that's in the classroom, in the community, on the field, off the field, I'll be giving my all for the University of Miami at all times. I'm not a guy that's interested in transferring. That was something I made clear to Coach Cristobal. No matter how hard it gets, how tough it gets, I'm not leaving, because this is the decision I made. These are the guys that I want to go into my future with. I know that can build me up into the man and player I should be. And I'm just going to give my all for the University of Miami at all times. Be a great guy for the community, great team guy, and try to be a leader at all times.
Deryc Plazz, man, you sound like an old school Cane. Bring that mentality back to the locker room that's been needed, right? The culture's changing, it's getting there, but I'm sure by the time you get there, hopefully coming off a good season for
Yes,
this team this year, and then get a nice finish to the recruiting class. But appreciate you joining the show today, Deryc.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.